Pavlova stuff. Caster sugar, egg whites, baking paper, white vinegar, vanilla essence as well, and a crock pot on low. I'm going to wipe around that with white vinegar first. Separate out the whites from the yolks of 6 eggs. Then whisk the egg whites until soft peaks form. Then gradually add the caster sugar 1 tablespoon at a time, making sure that it's really well mixed before adding the next spoonful. Mix until the meringue is really thick and glossy and the sugar is dissolved. Then add the 2 teaspoons of corn flour, the 1 teaspoon of white vinegar and the 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract until it's just combined. I lined the base of my crock pot or slow cooker with baking paper. I just cut a really long sheet and put it in one direction, then put it in the other direction. The edges of the baking paper sat outside of the crock pot, and this made it easier to lift out the pavlova at the end. Then spoon in the mixture and make sure that it stays within the baking paper. I kind of pressed down on the top a little bit so that there was no space in between the layers I'd been putting in. Then I placed a tea towel over the top of the slow cooker and I placed the lid firmly on top. I cooked the pavlova on low for 1.5 hours. Then I turned off the slow cooker and I left it to just cool down completely. I had a peek in when the timer went off, and the only variation I made, because I looked in, I felt like there was no crunchy edges or not as much as I wanted, is I turned the slow cooker back on. I mean, the whole thing had cooled, but I turned it back on to low, and I did it for about another half hour, 45 minutes, and then I let it cool again. I think because it had already cooked completely, it wasn't going to deflate or fall or dissolve or have anything horrible happen. It just meant that extra half hour to 45 minutes created a crunchier kind of outside to my pavlova, but I think it's fine with the original recipe, and I think it still had the crunchy outside. I just had a little freak out moment and added that extra time on at the end, and that's it. I put cream and strawberries on top and everyone loved it on Christmas Day. Easy as pie.